Well, both the Obama administration and the bipartisan Senate Gang of Eight are now pushing comprehensive immigration reform proposals. Our first guest tonight urged a thoughtful, incremental approach during today's Judiciary Committee hearing.
This will be a massive undertaking with implications for the future direction of our nation. As such, we must move forward methodically and evaluate this issue in stages, taking care to fully vet the pros and cons of each piece.
Joining us now is the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Chairman Bob Goodlatte. Good to have you with us, Mr. Chairman.
Good to be with you, Lou.
The issue of immigration reform, the big word attached to all of that is comprehensive. That seems to be the principal defining descriptive word in all of this. And what I've heard so many people say is we have a broken immigration system for lawful immigrants. We have a broken border security system, and we need a rational, effective, humane reform of existing immigration reform to give people at least a legal status who are here, in most cases for a long period of time, illegally. Why this fascination with the word comprehensive?
Well, a lot of these issues do relate to each other. People who are interested in having a legal status for people who are not lawfully here also want to know, how are you going to stop this from happening again? The last time it was done in 1986, they thought they had the solution: give amnesty to people who are here unlawfully and employ sanctions against employers who hire those in the future. That part was never enforced, so the problem got worse, not better. We don't want to repeat that in the effort we're undertaking this time. Then, if you give legal status to people, you have lots of sectors of our economy where workers are right now, and we may need to have a program that allows those sectors of the economy, like agriculture, to have temporary workers to fill in for those that have been working, perhaps without lawful status in many instances, so that those industries don't go overseas. So we've got to take a look at all the different components, but we can only do what we have consensus on, and that consensus won't come here in the Congress. It will come from the American people. So we think we have to educate our members of Congress and then get them to listen to their constituents and give us feedback as to what we can do that will work and that will be something acceptable to the public.
Mr. Chairman, may I congratulate you? You have just become the first congressman or senator with whom I've spoken on this issue over the course of the past decade to say that he did not want to go out to educate the American people, but rather to educate Congress and go out to the American people to hear their views, their concerns, their thoughts, and their ideas. I truly, sincerely compliment you for that. And I think that is such a critically important perspective for our nation's leaders.
We have a representative democracy, and a lot of people overlook that when they look to the Congress to rush in to solve a problem. A lot of times we rush in and we either put past something that doesn't solve the problem, or we get it all built up to a large piece of legislation and it collapses, as immigration reform did in the Senate a few years ago. Neither of those approaches is good. I think the approach of looking at the aspect of this problem and trying to find common ground is where we're starting, and I think has the most prospect of at least solving some of these problems, if not finding that big solution to the overall problem. But it's got to include both what do you do in a humane fashion with millions of people who are not here lawfully, and what do you do to prevent it from happening again and address the dislocation that will occur with whatever we do as a solution to the problem.
And what is, of course, as you pointed out, in the national interest. Let me ask you, there is so little correlation in this country between what we need in the way of skills and education levels in the immigrants we seek lawfully. What is your, at least, initial perspective on that issue?
Well, the United States is the most generous immigration policy in the world. We admit 1 million people a year to lawful permanent resident status, and only a small percentage of that are people with skills that we've identified that we need to help grow our economy. And yet our universities educate far more than any in the world in terms of people with graduate degrees in science and technology and engineering and math, the so-called STEM categories.
Right.
So what we need to do is to make sure that we look at our immigration from the standpoint of, should we do what the United Kingdom or Canada do, where 60% of their lawful immigrants are related to job skills and educational background, as opposed to other qualifications that we use in the United States. That's got to be a part of this overall immigration reform process as well. What can we do to help American workers by keeping these talents here that create new companies, that have brilliant ideas, that create new jobs for Americans, as well as keep them here after we've educated them here?
Congressman Bob Goodlatte, we appreciate you being here, Chairman of the House Judiciary Committee. Thank you very much,
Thanks,
sir.
Lou.
We'll have much more on the right fix for our broken illegal immigration system, as well as our legal immigration system. We take that up with a